We have 90 days to go buy a house.
Do you like it?
Hi guys, long time no see, I know. It's been a couple of months, a couple of busy months. I wanted to go ahead and give a quick update on the house buying process. Like I said, I was going to in my last video, which I know my last full-length video was probably about 6 months ago. I have done some shorts since then, but really I've just not had anything to update on, unfortunately. But today we finally got our taxes back, and that's kind of been the last piece of the puzzle that we've been waiting on to move ahead with financing for a mortgage. I'm feeding Alora lunch right now, but Elijah's going to grab our taxes and we're going to pay what we owe, and then we're going to move ahead with hopefully financing. We do have a lender lined up that we're going to get everything worked out with underwriting and hopefully get financing for buying a house. We have a couple in mind that we are ready to look at the moment that we get our pre-approval. So that's really exciting. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's been going on lately. Today is kind of a big day because we kind of got that last piece of the puzzle and we can finally move forward with what we've been working on for the past probably 4 months or so. Now that we have our pre-approval, we are super excited to finally be able to go look at some of these houses that we've been eyeing on the market for months now. And unfortunately, we've seen a couple of the houses that we really like go into contract. So unfortunately, some of the ones that we really liked have already been taken. So I'm really hoping that we can move ahead with this swiftly so that none of the other houses that we're looking at go under contract before we can look at them. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm really excited to actually move forward with this because we've been stocking away money and lining things up for months now, and finally now we can actually move ahead with the things that we've been working on. Another thing I wanted to touch on briefly, which I said I would talk about in my last video about housing, was the housing market and the cost of housing around here. That's been another factor in why it's taken us so long to actually move ahead with this process, because we've had to really focus on setting money aside for a down payment, because all of the houses around here, I think median, they run at least $400,000, $450,000, which it's also another thing about the housing market down here is a lot of them need work, and I just don't know very many young families that have the funds to put a down payment down on a $450,000 house or a $500,000 house just to turn around and put more money in it. I feel like not a lot of people my age or young families can afford a $500,000 starter home. I'm not against buying a starter home by any means. I'm not against putting hard work into a house. I've lived in construction for a lot of my life. It's just the main thing is having the funds to put money into a fixer-upper home, startup home after buying the home. And for a lot of the market around here, it's just not possible. Even the cheapest house that I think I've seen on the market around here was about $280,000, $285,000, and it was needed to be torn down. You're basically just buying the land for about $285,000, which if you buy the land for $285,000, how can you afford to put a house on it after that? Especially with the cost of housing materials going up and labor going up. So it prices a lot of people out of this area, unfortunately. So we've had to kind of expand our search radius a little bit from what we previously were looking, just to find something a little bit more affordable. That's kind of the state of the market around here, unfortunately. I have seen there are some housing development plans being made for this general area. But unfortunately, that doesn't really help us right now because their plans and their houses are not even under construction yet. So we're looking for something that's already been built, not necessarily only looking for, turnkey, but if I'm going to spend $500,000 on it, then I kind of do expect to be able to move into it. So that's kind of the situation that we are facing currently. And we're very lucky to be even able to move forward with this process. It has taken a lot of kind of determination and cutting a lot of spending and just focusing on saving pretty much every penny that we can to be able to make this happen. And I know a lot of people my age or even older are in the same boat as I am, trying to accomplish the dream of home ownership and doing whatever it takes to actually reach that goal. So that's kind of where we're at now. I wanted to kind of give a brief update right before I put Alora down for her nap as to what's going on now that we finally have an update to give. So I'm really excited about that. Some water? Dance. Alora's doing really well, as you can probably hear. She is incredibly smart. It actually amazes me every single day how many things she can do and say and how big she's getting. I know, I mean, obviously I'm her mom, I'm biased on that. I'm sure everybody would say the same about their baby. But I'm just like super proud of her, and she's doing really, really well, and she is talking up a storm for 18 months old. And we're really excited to get out this summer and do some more things with her. I'm really excited to have like pool days and go to the park and things with like that with her. We do have a zoo trip hopefully planned in the next couple of weeks so that we can go up there and she can see the zoo for the first time. She did see the aquarium for the second time, and she really enjoyed it more so the second time. She was 9 months old when we went the first time, and then she was 17 months old when we went again. She liked it more obviously at 17 months old, but I also do want to do Xperia Ocean Journey with her again because she was almost 6 months old when we went the first time, and now she's 18 months old, so I really think she would enjoy it now, especially now that she can walk around in there. So yeah, we have a couple of fun things planned for her. Hi. Aside from that, she's definitely getting sleepy, so we're gonna finish up lunch here, and I'm gonna put her down for a nap and maybe give you guys some more updates afterwards. Hi guys, today is March 20th. I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update from what I was talking about yesterday. So we were able to finally submit our application for a mortgage today. We have all of our tax information back, all the information that they needed on their part. So hopefully here in the next little bit, we're gonna get our pre-approval and we'll be able to go start looking at some houses. We're really excited. It finally feels like we're making some progress in making some headway in this house buying process, because it seems like we've been kind of in limbo for months and months and months now, which is really kind of been a blessing in disguise because it's really only allowed us to put more and more money aside for our down payment. So we're hoping that we'll have a big enough down payment to do 20% on whichever house that we want to get. We'd prefer that just because we want to kind of avoid PMI, which along with the current interest rates on houses would make our mortgage payment kind of high. So that's kind of what we're trying to avoid there. We want to kind of immediately have equity in the house by putting money down on it. I know we could do it FHA, but that does make you have PMI for the entire length of your loan, and we're trying to avoid PMI altogether. So that's why we want to do a conventional mortgage with 20% down. So we're hoping that we can swing that. If not, and if we have to do an FHA, then maybe we would look into buying down the PMI or buying down the interest rate. So hopefully, I don't know, I'm just really excited that we're starting the process now so that we can finally get some answers on that. Yeah, I'm out running some errands right now. I'm hands-free, I'm not touching my phone. But Alora's taking a nap while I run some errands. Elijah's at the house with her today. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to update on right now. I'm hoping that they get back with us quickly on our pre-approval so we can start looking at some houses. We do have a couple in mind, so I'm really excited to start touring some of those because we do want to get into something a little bit bigger, especially for Alora. I'd like for her to have a bigger room and more space to have her toys and things, because they're kind of just strewn about our living room, and I would like for her to have like a designated play area that was away from my home office so that we're not constantly having to kind of watch where she's going around my computer and things, because she does kind of like to go over there and open all of my drawers and turn off the Wi-Fi and my power strip and my monitors and everything over there. So if we're not fast enough, then she'll go over there and turn off the Wi-Fi and turn off my computer and things like that. So because it's kind of just out in the open in the living room. So I would like to have a designated home office space too that had a door, so where I can kind of control that space from the kids. So that would be a couple of our main things that we're looking for in a house. Designated area for her toys and things that was completely baby proofed, and the home office can be separate from all those things. So that's what we're looking for. I did kind of want to expand a little bit on the things that we're looking for in a house. We're not trying to be picky, but the thing about it is that a lot of people have found themselves in the same situation as we are, where they didn't think that the home that they were going to buy was going to be their forever home, and then they kind of ended up stuck in it because of the house market and the interest rates and the kind of state of the economy. So while we're not opposed to buying a starter home by any means, we do know that we'll probably be in this house for at least the next probably 10 years or so. So we do want it to work for us now, as well as to work for us in the next decade. So I just pulled into my errand destination. So I kind of wanted to wrap up a little bit of my thoughts here. So like I said, those are kind of some of the priorities and characteristics that we're looking for in a house right now. Like I said, we're not against putting work into the home by any means. We're not against buying a starter home by any means. We're not against, all of those things. We're not looking for our forever home as our first home. But unfortunately, due to the state of the market and the economy and the housing situation that we're kind of in right now, if we were to get into a house, we probably want to stay in it for quite some time. And I mean, I feel like there are a lot of people that are in the same situation that bought their houses in like 2020, 2021, that got really low interest rates on their houses and bought them as a starter home, and then thought they were going to only be in them for a couple years, and then now they don't want to give up their interest rate, they don't want to give up their low mortgage payment, and so now they're kind of stuck in their houses. And so we kind of want to avoid that by expanding the amount of time that we are planning on being in the house just for right now. So we're kind of opening up the characteristics we're looking for a little bit, and because of that, we've had to kind of broaden our search radius of location of houses and things like that. So we're kind of open to anything. That's why we're wanting to look at a bunch of different houses. Elijah does want a little bit of land because he really wants to start a garden and do a little bit of like mild homesteading, if we put it that way. He wants to do canning, he wants to have some animals, maybe some chickens, things like that. And that kind of brings us to whether or not we want to have an HOA. We're not against having an HOA in general, but there are some things that we're kind of wanting to avoid when it comes to HOAs. So we don't really mind paying an HOA fee, but we want to know what the HOA fee is going towards, and we don't want it to be so constrictive and like restrained to the point where they're telling us what we can and can't do with our land, what we can and can't have outside, like in terms of kids' toys. We've actually seen that. When we can have our garage door open and close, which we've seen that on some of the houses we're looking at. I think that some of the houses that we've been looking at are kind of in neighborhoods that don't have young families, and they kind of want to keep it that way. And so in order to do that and like deter young families from buying into that neighborhood, they put restraints on when you can have your garage door open and what toys you can have outside. Like you can't have any kids' toys outside at all, in the backyard, in the front yard, anywhere. And I just don't want the HOA telling me whether or not I can have kids' toys in my yard. Like my kids are going to have toys and I want Alora and any other kids that we have to have like a swing set, an area to play outside. So those are just options that would not be a right fit for us if the HOA had something like that in it. So that's another kind of characteristic and factor that we're looking at in terms of buying a house. So I mean, I'm not against like the HOA wanting to preserve, I don't know, I guess the scenery of the area, to preserve as many trees in the division as possible, being against rentals. I'm okay with that stuff. But there's some things that I'm kind of like, I realize that this is kind of to deter young families from buying into this area, so I'm going to heed that warning because it seems like they don't want young families in those specific HOAs. It's kind of what we're looking for in terms of housing. Once again, if we find something that has all those characteristics out of our radius, we'd be okay with buying a house somewhat out of the range if it had all of the characteristics we were looking for. And same goes with like if it's close and maybe it's missing one or two things, we'd be okay with that too. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just looking for something that fits most of the characteristics that we're looking for and is in our price range. So yeah, we're really excited to start looking at some of them. There are some really great contenders so far that we've got on our list that we're hoping are as good as they look online in person, because we did look at one and we were kind of a little bit disappointed because it wasn't anywhere like what it looked like in the pictures online, and it had some unseen things that kind of made it not desirable for us. So yeah, we're really excited to start looking. I'm really excited to start narrowing down this list that we've had for months and months and months. Some of them have even gone under contract during that time, so we can't really even look at them anymore. So, which is really sad because some of them were like high up on our list and they've already gone under contract, so kind of off of our list now. So I'm gonna run inside and do my errands and hopefully put together this video for you guys sometime soon. And I will see you guys in the next update.
For us initial pre-approval.
We just applied yesterday and we got our pre-approval today. We have 90 days to go buy a house. After we got the call, we immediately went to work putting together our list of houses that we wanted to view for our realtor. And 3 days later, we set out to go view all of the houses that were on our list. We put our favorites at the top of the list to view first, so the first few houses that we looked at were pretty high stakes. At 10 o'clock that morning, we arrived at the house at the very top of our list, one that Elijah had fallen absolutely in love with, specifically the kitchen. Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Okay.
She must have just got here too. What do you think? It's cute.
The fence is kind of rickety, it looks like.
Yeah, but it's been here forever. It's not something we can't replace later. We're just excited to see what the inside looks like. I don't know about this driveway. The front yard's kind of small, but the backyard's what I like because the backyard is wooded and it's like 2 acres in the back, but the front yard is very close to the road.
Yeah.
But the neighborhood looks decent, so we'll go inside and find out.
Ah. Wow, I love the kitchen.
What is that, open to the backyard?
Open to the porch because the porch has like 2 levels and then there's
Okay.
stairs here. Oh, that's pretty. I was not expecting it to be that big.
Your next question would be, where would you set up your home office stuff?
I know, I love that it's like really spacious. I like the porch too.
The kitchen's my favorite. The double oven.
Yeah, the double oven. And
I like to
and this area here.
I was trying to figure out where you put your computer stuff.
I mean, there is a plug there, so I could go right there, but once again, she's gonna have open access to like the cords and everything. What do you think? Does it like match up to your expectations?
I really like it, yeah. Every time we get there, we have quite a few more looking at.
I know, I just like these 2 are really high stakes. While we both really liked this one in person, it didn't really have a designated area for me to put my workstation, which was a big requirement for me in looking for a new house. And because it had that big jacuzzi tub in the bedroom, I couldn't put the desk in the bedroom either. It was also in need of some major updates, including the fence in the backyard, because our dogs would have been able to squeeze in between the gaps in the fence. And for the price that they were asking, we wouldn't have had much wiggle room to do those renovations, unfortunately. It also looked like it may have needed a new roof or at least a roof repair because it did have some water spots on the ceiling that we could see that it looked like it had been patched over. Again, we weren't opposed to putting in some work into a fixer-upper, but with the asking price, we were just running a little bit tight on the budget. We really liked the acreage that came along with this lot, and we liked the house itself, but we kept it in our back pocket while we went to look at the other houses. With that, we moved on to the next house on our list, which was also one of our top contenders. I like this one a lot already.
I like the front. Can I take the front door off of that house and put it on this one?
We really liked this one because of the sunroom that would be perfect for an office and also the location and proximity to our families. But the more we got to looking at it, the more work we realized that it actually needed. In the kitchen especially, in our opinion, it probably could have used an entire kitchen remodel. The neighborhood was beautiful, the house itself had potential, but it just needed a little bit too much work than we were comfortable doing ourselves, and for the asking price, it was going to need quite a bit of renovations. The next house was also in a great neighborhood, and spoiler alert, Elijah liked this one so much that we actually ended up putting in an offer on this house the same day that we went to look at it. This house ticked all of our boxes, from the big yard to the place for an office to the nice kitchen, and it was equidistant between my parents' house and Elijah's parents' house, and it was also close to some really great schools. After seeing this one, it was hard to really even consider looking at any other houses, but we had quite a few left on our list to view, so we carried on. And we looked at house after house. Oh, okay, the yard is nice. Wow. Okay, yeah, the yard is a big plus. After house. All of which unfortunately happened to be a bust. Until we happened to tour one that I really, really liked.
Do you like it?
Oh my gosh. Is this new? This is new build, right? It smells good. I don't know. I think it's meant to be a dining room table, like over the... Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love the cabinets. New appliances. Oh my gosh. Look at this window in here. We'd have to buy a fridge. There's a fridge.
The kitchen's a little small, in my opinion, but it's just really open.
Wow. Wow. They're deep drawers. What?
The garage. And then I was like, what is this open to? I thought it looked like the master bedroom for some reason. And it's just a really good storage area.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so is this where your washer and dryer is supposed to go?
No.
Oh.
This is just garage storage.
Is this the master? It's that ceiling. Yeah.
And I was like, should I live in a shower? Yeah, there's a shower.
Look, it's got his and hers vanity.
In the shower.
Dude.
And then you got a big walk-in closet.
Oh, dude, holy. Oh my god, bro. This is like a room in and of itself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is really nice. Like it needs like no work at all.
No.
Because it's like brand new.
That is your washer dryer.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I see. While I was completely sold on this one the moment that I walked in, there were two factors preventing Elijah from jumping on this. One was the size of the backyard, and the other one was the distance away from our current house. Aside from those two factors, this house ticked all of our boxes as well. But it was for those two reasons that at the end of the day, we decided to put in an offer on the third house that we viewed that Elijah really liked. Well, we put in an offer on a house, on the one that was our top contender, and they had until 6 tonight because there was another offer. And so the lender brought both of our offers to the table at the same time, and they were like, hey, this one just came in today. This is the one. Apparently those people had put in an offer before, so this was their second offer. And they accepted the other people's offer. So yeah, we didn't get the house that was our number one. So now we have to either put in an offer on something else or just wait for something else to come up on the market, maybe. But I guess we still have a little less than 3 months to look for something. But the one that ticked all of our boxes is sold. Hi guys. So it's been a couple days since I recorded the last clip giving an update on our housing search. So unfortunately, Alora and I have come down with a little bit of a cold. So we've not really been able to do anything more in terms of looking at houses or doing much of anything. We're kind of just giving ourselves a couple days to recover. So since our offer fell through on our first choice of housing, their inspection is actually, I think, in a couple of days. So we'll know if that falls through. But then of course we'll have to wonder why it fell through based on the inspection. So we're not really prepared to just offer again if something falls through on that one. In the meantime, in the next couple of days after Laura and I start feeling better, we are scheduled to view a couple of more houses. I think 5 more houses here in a couple days. So I'm really excited about that. They are a little bit further out in terms of like the radius that we're looking in. I think the one that we're looking at is actually the furthest house away from where we currently live, and some of them are a little bit out of our price range. So if we did happen to fall in love with one
of the ones that's just a little bit out of our price range, we might be able to negotiate it a little bit down. But some of the other ones are kind of like at the very top of our budget. So unfortunately, that's kind of just the options that we have right now. We did look at 7 houses. No, we looked at 6 houses. We had 8 houses to look at on the list that day. But unfortunately, one of the houses, they weren't able to show it within the time frame that we were available, so we couldn't look at that one. But it was really, 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 really far away from our current address. And we were kind of iffy on the location of that one anyway, so we just decided against it. And then the other house ended up going under contract the day that we were supposed to go look at it, so we decided against looking at that one too. So we looked at 6 of them, and only one of them ticked all of our boxes. So we bid on that one, and they didn't accept our offer. They accepted another couple's offer. Now we're kind of back at square one. We do have a couple of very viable options, but we kind of just have to see them in person and see if they would be worth kind of negotiating on and kind of giving up some of our contingencies on the characteristics that we're looking for. So say it's our dream house, but it's kind of a little bit out of our search radius, we might be able to overlook the distance between this house that we're currently living in and the new house if it has all of the other characteristics that we're looking for. So I'm hoping that one of those 6 houses will really do it for us. There are 2 other ones too that we liked from the previous viewing, but unfortunately they're just a tad bit small. They do have 3 beds and at least 2 baths, but the square footage is a little bit small, and the yards are a little bit small, and we're kind of looking for something just a little bit bigger so that Laura has space to play outside. And we also have the dogs, so we want them to have like a fenced in area where they can go out. So of course it doesn't have to have a fence now when we buy it, like we're more than happy to put in the fence for our dogs, but it has to have the space to kind of accommodate that. So unfortunately, in some of these tighter housing additions, it's just a little bit tough. So we do have 2 that we would be open to putting in offers on if these other houses don't really do it for us. We still do have like more than 2 months to find something and put in an offer. So still, if none of these houses kind of do it for us, then we still do have time to kind of wait for something more to pop up on the market, because new houses are popping up every day. So who knows, if none of these houses really do it for us, then maybe one will come up on the market that ticks all of our boxes again. So who knows. We're kind of just playing the waiting game at this point, kind of waiting for Laura and I to get over this cold. It's not severe or anything, it's just, sniffles. But we don't want to get anybody sick, and we don't want to view houses while we're sick either. So we're going to give it a couple days, and then hopefully I'll be able to record us touring some of these houses. I did record a few clips of us touring the previous day, but my phone was doing something glitchy, and it wouldn't let me flip the camera around from forward facing camera to back camera, and then it was glitching and it wasn't letting me record at all. So I will use some of the clips that I do have in the video, but as of right now, we're not putting in offers on any of those houses, and I don't want to give away too much information just in case we do end up buying one of those houses. So I'm going to be very selective and sparse with what I do show, because I don't want to dox our new address. But yeah, we're just going to kind of keep a lookout. We have been in constant communication with our realtor, which has been really nice, on updates on houses that we really like and kind of adding to our list as we go. So yeah, I guess will give you guys an update whenever we go look at the other houses. I will also say, I'll add to the last clip that I did, that the owners of the house that we put in an offer on, I guess that there was another couple that put in an offer the week before we went to view the house, and the owners let the offer expire. So then that same couple put in another offer alongside ours, and they accepted their offer because I guess allegedly what they had said was they, quote unquote, were done showing the house. They didn't want to show the house anymore, and they just wanted to be done with it. Even though allegedly our offer was more money with less contingencies. They went ahead and accepted the previous couple's offer, and I could see, like, if I were in the other couple's shoes, I could see being pretty upset that the homeowners let my offer expire and then it allowed time for someone else to bid on it, and then they accepted the offer with more money. I would be pretty upset if that were the case, if I were in their shoes. So I can see both sides of it, but we were pretty upset that they didn't accept our offer even though it was more money with less contingencies. And it did give us time to get our pre-approval and actually see the house, so they wouldn't have had to show it to anyone else. They would have just like allowed us to make more offers on it, and then accept whichever one was more or with less contingencies, or whichever one that they thought was better. But they didn't really give us the option to do that, so that's okay. We were kind of under the impression that everything happens for a reason, so if we didn't get this offer accepted on this house, maybe something else better is coming along that fits our boxes better. So who knows? I guess we'll find out here in the next couple days when we go and view some of these houses. Some of them are pretty high on our list now. They really do have like a lot of the characteristics that we're looking for, and we're really excited to see them in person because some of the pictures are just absolutely stunning. So yeah, I guess I will hopefully be able to record some clips of those houses, and I will take you guys along for the ride.
A few days later, after Alora and I started feeling better, we went to look at a few more houses, 2 of which were in the same neighborhood as the one that I liked before.
Okay.
This house in particular was quite a bit more expensive than the one that I liked, with very few differences to justify the insane price jump, and this one was at the beginning of the neighborhood, so it was going to get the most traffic and the most noise. Aside from that, I absolutely loved this house. It was very, very, very similar to the one that I liked before, but it had a fireplace and it had a bigger yard that was mostly flat, whereas the previous house had a very steep yard and no fireplace. But it did say that this listing had a basement, but it turns out that the basement was actually just a really big crawl space, and it was the exact same as the house that we looked at previously. This master bedroom was bigger than the previous house, but aside from that, there really weren't very many differences between this one and the one that I liked before, aside from the $80,000 more that it cost.
Elijah, look at this bathroom. Look at this. Look at this bathroom. It's so big, bro. It's got a big tub. The kids' bathroom doesn't have a tub. It just has a shower.
Really?
Yeah. So this is the only tub. Right. So we would have to do. It's big. It has the bump out. Yeah.
There's no, okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. This is just a. It doesn't have a tub. Yeah. It just has a. That's one. But they do have one tub. You just have to go in that bathroom. Yeah. They're really.
That's so weird. Why would they not just walk in the shower?
I don't know.
While I did really like this one, Elijah didn't like some of the features such as the fireplace or the textured walls, and especially not the walk-in shower in the kids' bedrooms, and we couldn't justify the insane price increase from this one to the last one with very few differences, so we unfortunately decided to pass on this one. The next and last house that we looked at was pretty much the same layout, but a little bit smaller, but it had a much bigger flat yard.
It's incredible. I mean, it only takes
4.5 acres.
it makes up for it. I mean, look at all the space.
Yeah, you know, we're a dirt bike.
I had a dirt bike. I actually had a 4-wheeler. Ooh. I like it a lot. Ooh. No, we need to have lots of space.
Sick pool out here.
You definitely could. Look! Dude. Do you like this one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I know the yard is the biggest selling point for you, so.
Yeah. There's also quite a smaller one.
Oh, square footage wise?
Yeah. This is 16. The other one's 36.
Oh.
So that's 16. Like, is this?
Ooh.
So this is the master bedroom. This is,
Wow.
this is
Closet.
the washer dryer, the big closet. Master bedroom, kind of small.
A little bit. Oh.
Nice bathroom. Huge walk-in closet. That's cool.
Wow.
I like the tub.
I
Like the
this one.
shower. Oh, I love the shower has the rain head up top.
It does.
That's it.
Oh yeah, I like that little folding table in there in the laundry room. Okay, yeah.
I don't see any place for office space.
Yeah, unfortunately.
After viewing this one, we spent a good bit of time discussing with our realtor the next steps and the pros and cons of each of the houses that we looked at that day and the day before, and we ultimately decided to go ahead and put in an offer on the house that I liked the most the first go around. We put in an offer!
We put in another offer on a house, and we should know by tomorrow at 1 p.m. if they accept it.
But as it turns out, we heard back from the seller later that night, countering for a little bit more than what we offered, and we decided to go ahead and accept it.
Yeah, deal. Okay, so they countered $5,000 more than our original, but they're paying closing and realtor fees. Deal. Did we just buy a house?
We did just buy a house. Yeah, so we obviously said she's gonna get the contract, get all the papers ready to sign, and then we'll sign it, and then we'll close on April, or what's today?
April 29th.
April 29th. We're closing.
The cool thing about getting everything finalized tomorrow is that it's mine and Elijah's 11-year anniversary.
Who's this?
It's the Lord.
So I'm gonna go pick out my room.
So far, so good. You think you're the house.
Who is that?
You like seeing here?
Do you want this room, or do you want that room?
This would be a good office, I think. Which room do you want?
Yeah.
You want?
You want this one?
This.
You want this one?
Think what?
This area.
Oh, what is this? I didn't see this.
Storage, and then water heaters in the corner.
This should be the.
This is COVID's room. Yeah. Vance. Wow. It's huge.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Right.
We'll go ahead and get in there and check it out.
Yeah, get in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It shouldn't break just by opening it.
Well, what it is.
Well, then
You'd be paying for it.
we'd be telling the builders.
That's pretty good.
Hey, do you like it?
At least 100 inches.
Yeah, this is your new house. I know this small house. But yeah, it's gonna be, it's around some.
What do you think?
Things up there.
I think she likes it.
Do you like it? Did you live in this attic? But over the ceiling.
That's awesome.
You have ambitious.
You have to get the stuff that Kendra, that you don't want Kendra to get into up at the top.
Yeah.
It's my bird cat.
Do you like it? Yeah. Is this your room?
Good morning, or good afternoon, I guess I should say. Laura got up super early this morning for no reason. So Elijah is out playing golf today, so it's just me and Laura here. I do have some updates on the housing situation. So we are exactly 2 weeks away from closing, and we were supposed to have our appraisal done today. I don't know when we'll be getting the results of that back yet. If it appraises for less than the price that we bought it for, then that's going to be a problem, and we'll have to renegotiate some terms with the seller. If it appraises for right at or above what we paid for it, then that's fine. But I don't know when we'll get that information back. I do know, though, we did have an inspection done, and I have some clips from the inspection that I'll probably put either before this or right in here in this while I'm talking about it. But the inspection went pretty good. They didn't find anything too egregious, mainly just some like touch-up areas, some extra things that need to go onto the house, sealant, gutter extenders, things like that. So they have agreed today to fix all of the things that we asked them to. So they fixed everything except for there were a few gaps in the siding. They're gonna have someone come out and look at and see what it would take to fix it. But those are the only things on the list that they haven't fixed yet. They've agreed to fix everything. So thankfully, we don't have to renegotiate any of those terms. We've already negotiated a pretty good deal with them, so we're really glad that we don't have to renegotiate anything yet, unless the appraisal comes back below what we bought it for. So hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully everything can just proceed as normal and we can close in 2 weeks. But this is kind of the last thing that we're really waiting for, to kind of like take a breath and be able to like finally realize that we are actually buying a house and moving into it in 2 weeks. If that's the case, then we're gonna have to start packing, because we haven't packed anything. The only thing that we've felt safe doing so far is taking trash to the dump. Things that we're getting rid of things, selling things, taking trash off. So that's really the only things that we've been doing the past 2 weeks, aside from like looking at appliances and looking at furniture to kind of gauge an idea of how much it's going to cost to move in. And we've also been contacting the service providers, internet provider, water, things like that will have to get turned on, and asking how much it would be and how long it would take to turn those things on. So now that we're kind of at the date where we might start to be able to proceed doing those things, we're really excited. Hopefully those things will go smoothly. But yeah, the next 2 weeks, if the appraisal comes back for what we bought it for or more, the next 2 weeks are going to be so crazy hectic. And the reason I want to kind of address that is because, as a lot of you I'm sure know, I edit for the main channel, Everything Autos. And so what I'm kind of trying to do is get us scheduled out to the point where I won't have to worry too much about the continuity of internet. So we're a little bit worried that there is going to be a gap in when we move from this house and when we move into the new house in our internet service. So if that is the case, then I think we can edit without internet and then export the video onto a hard drive and then bring it to a place that has internet in order to upload it. But I kind of want to avoid that. So I think what we're going to try to do is schedule out about 2 weeks in advance so that we have a little bit of a buffer to get our internet established there, because they are introducing KUB fiber, which is a great thing, but they do have to set it up. So we're a little bit nervous that there's going to be a little bit of a gap in service while they set up the KUB fiber. That's kind of the main thing that we're worried about right now. Everything else can kind of be sorted out in the next 2 weeks, but we're hoping that they get back with us and let us know the timeline on setting up the fiber lines and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit of background information about what's been going on with us and the house and the situation and things like that. I know some of the members have been asking when they will see their membership reflected in the names at the end of the videos. Unfortunately, because we're going to be scheduled out for so long, you probably won't see those changes reflected immediately. But I will try to get everything going as normal again as soon as possible after we move in. But yeah, that's just a little bit of an update. Today is April 14th. Keep your fingers crossed that everything goes well with the appraisal and that we can proceed forward and move in 2 weeks. Hi guys, today is April 16th. Elora is 19 months old today, and yesterday we did get our appraisal back and the house appraised for exactly what we bought it for. So no more, no less, that's perfectly fine. That means that we don't have to go back into negotiations and we don't have to negotiate the price down to what it appraised for. It appraised for exactly what we bought it for. So all has gone smoothly, and that kind of means that we should be able to proceed as normally. We've also submitted all of our documents to the underwriters and our mortgage lender so that they have all of the information to write our contract up and hopefully get us finally approved for our mortgage. We're less than 2 weeks away from closing now, so hopefully now that all of this has gone over smoothly, we should be okay to begin packing and buying things. Obviously not expensive things out of our bank account because that's against mortgage lender policy. But we have some more money set aside for some necessary appliances and things that we need to move in. So hopefully we'll be able to set up deliveries for those things and set up installation for internet and all of the other utilities that need set up before we move in. So yeah, I'm finally glad that we can finally proceed with doing those things, because it seems like we've been in like a hurry up and wait process for the last 2 weeks. So now things can finally get moving, and it's really crunch time because we have less than 2 weeks until closing. So it's going to be a busy 2 weeks, and I'm hoping that I can edit a little bit of this footage prior to closing so that I can have a video air like sometime around that date, so that you guys can be caught up to speed a little bit. Not only for this channel, but also for the main channel, Everything Autos, and also Everything Autos Garage, because Coven is on vacation, and we've been trying to post once a week, but he doesn't have very much footage because he's not been here. So not only does he not have a whole bunch of footage, but I have also been mainly focusing on the main channel. But we have been aiming for once a week on his channel. I think we're going to aim for that in the future too. So yeah, that's how things are going, and I will try to keep you guys up to speed in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be crazy, hectic, chaotic. My house is a mess. We're sorting through garbage and things we want to get rid of. So yeah, I guess I will catch you guys in the next update.
Yeah, so I think we're doing final walkthrough at 12 o'clock on Monday and closing Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Now that the final walkthrough and closing were scheduled, we finally felt safe to begin packing all of our stuff. And let me tell you, packing an entire house with a toddler was absolutely chaotic. I don't think either one of us realized how much stuff we had, especially baby stuff. So most of her baby things that aren't being used anymore are going to be donated. Where are we? Is that a bathtub? Bathtub. Yeah, you take a bath in there. Is this the new house? New house. You're so excited. Bathtub. You're so excited. Yay! 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 You're so excited. Final walkthrough.
I was trying to find the water shut off. I couldn't find it.
Alright guys, it is the night before closing. We're finally closing tomorrow. It feels so crazy to say that. We have a busy day tomorrow. Closing is at 11, so I need to get up at like 8:30, get Laura ready, get myself ready, drop her off at my parents' house so we can go to closing. And then we're gonna drop some stuff off at the house and start the moving process. So yeah, it's about to get really, really crazy here. I can't believe that we finally made it. It seems like we've been waiting so long for closing. So we're both really excited, and yeah, I guess I'm gonna get some sleep because it's almost 11 o'clock and I have an early morning. So I'll see you then. Good morning, guys. It is a little bit after 10 and we are dropping Laura off, and then we're going to the realtor's office so that we can sign our closing paperwork and give them our down payment. And then we will officially have closed on the house and we will start moving later today. It's gonna be a busy day. I have to take Laura to a doctor's appointment. So Elijah's gonna be moving while all of that is going on. So
yeah, we're gonna go close.
You ready to close on our house?
Yeah. I'm excited. A little nervous.
Well, we finally made it. We made it through signing. We are officially homeowners. We have bought our house, and I just put Alora down for her nap. Elijah is taking some boxes back and forth while I stay here with Alora. I'm going to take Alora to the pediatrician when she gets up from her nap, and then Elijah's going to be making trips back and forth the rest of the night while I stay here with her. And we also have the appliances being delivered tomorrow at the house. We have the internet company coming out to install internet tomorrow. We have the dining room table being delivered tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day, specifically for Elijah, because he's going to have to hang out at the house all day during those windows of time when the appliances and furniture is being delivered and the internet's being installed. So he will have to stay there and do that. I can't really haul much in my car because I have the big bulky car seat and I have some of Alora's stuff in there. So I can't really be of much help other than hanging out at the house. I can either hang out here or I can hang out there with Alora so that those things can be delivered and installed and things. But aside from that, we're really hoping to be fully moved in by Friday. I'm hoping. I think we're gonna take the rollback and put our big furniture on that, and hopefully that will be able to get that done in one trip. And then the rest of the boxes we can get with Elijah's car, hopefully. Tentatively, I'm not really sure, but I'm hoping that's how it's going to work out, and I hope that it doesn't rain during the moving process, because it is predicted to rain, but it's like 10-15% chance, so hopefully the rain holds off so that we can get moved in. So today is the last day in our old house. We are planning on staying at the new house tonight for the first time, which is so surreal to even say. We're moving the last little bits of our stuff. We just have big bulky furniture left and a few odd and end totes with random stuff in them. But aside from that, the last thing I'm gonna do here is let Alora take a nap. So we've left the main things in her room: crib, blackout curtains, her sound machine, just the basics for her to take a nap. And then after her nap, I'm going to take her over to the new house, and the guys are going to get the last little bits of everything else that's left here. So yeah, it seems so crazy to say, but like, it's so empty because we've taken most everything except for the big stuff. So
You do the shed. Bye.
Bye bye.
Where's Alora? There she is.
Yay!
Bye. Bye. Bye.
First night in a new house. There's so much stuff to unpack, it's ridiculous. But we got our table. And I got Panda Express DoorDashed because we don't have really any food here. Elijah is on his way here with the dogs and the last little bit of our stuff. Laura played outside for like an hour and then got a bath. And we met some of our neighbors. And Olivia's room without the fridge. It's not pushed back all the way because the trim is preventing it from fitting. So we have to trim the trim, take the trim off, and then cut it to look normal. And we got some of Laura's toys set up, and we're gonna have to get new locks. You're gonna hurt yourself with that. And then we're just organizing some of the cabinets. Yeah. It feels homey. It definitely feels like we're meant to be here. It feels like home. And it's really nice. And we also got our room. Just the bed and our clothes. Yeah, that's it. Because we just got here at like 6 or 6:30. So we kind of had a rush of being able to put things together so that we could stay here tonight comfortably, and then we'll do the rest later. First morning in the new house,
and everything seems to be going great so far. The dogs are still acclimating and they're a little bit nervous and they're not being themselves. But aside from that, we had a really good night's sleep. It seemed like Alora did really well. She slept for about 11 hours, 10 and a half hours, which is pretty good, pretty on par for her. She seemed happy this morning, so she's doing okay. We all had breakfast, and I think we're gonna go run to town for some necessities we need. We need to go to the grocery store for one, and then the house also needs a few things like toilet paper holders and like small odd end things for it to be like functional. Pretty relatively inexpensive things. We're gonna wait to do the bigger things like the TV. We wanted to do a bigger dog fence, but for right now we're just gonna use the temporary one that we had from the old house. And then I want to get an entire like bedroom set, like new drawers, dresser, things like that. I didn't have a dresser at the old house. I just had like clothing racks from Amazon, like the open ones. But I'm gonna hold off on that too for a little while. So yeah, as of right now, we're having a slow little morning, and it's so nice to wake up in this house. Oh, and while I'm sitting here, I just wanted to kind of clarify some of the things that I was talking about when we were looking at other houses. I was editing my video and I was watching it back, and I think I was clear on this, but I just wanted to be like abundantly clear in case like I can hear the comments now. But some of the houses, how I was talking about how for the asking price, they needed a lot of work. And once again, we weren't afraid of buying a fixer-upper or doing some of the work. But those houses being priced at where they were, the pictures didn't show like just how in-depth the extent of the need of renovations was. So when we walked in and we realized it was going to need like $50,000 to $80,000 in renovations, and the asking price was higher than the one that we purchased, that threw us off a little bit. And so I just wanted to be like abundantly clear about that. The house that we bought was cheaper than any of the other houses that we looked at, and pretty much all of them needed renovations. And I'm not talking about renovations like, oh, this really isn't our style, so we'd want to rip the whole kitchen out. No, I'm talking like it probably needed a roof repair, one of them, and then another one had serious foundation issues. Like we could see the instability in the foundation and the cracks in the windows and things like that, and just stuff that wasn't really like shown in the pictures and the listing. So that's what I mean by like it needed lots of repairs. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm being snobby about this and I really want this kitchen to look exactly this way, and so that's why I won't buy it because I want it to have a kitchen renovation. It's not like that. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear. On some of the walkthrough videos that I did, they weren't like super in-depth or detailed, or like, you know, it was kind of hard to see what I was talking about. So I just wanted to make that 100% clear. And when I said, if I'm going to spend $500,000 on it, then I want it to be move-in ready, that is the case, but we didn't spend $500,000 on a house. I was just speaking like in relative terms for the housing options in this general area. So I just want to be clear on that too. We did not spend $500,000 on a house. I also wanted to touch on, I think some people have an issue with new builds in general, and it's not completely unwarranted, but I do want to preface this by saying we know who built the house and we were comfortable with that builder. There are some builders that we weren't comfortable with, that we didn't even look at those houses. And we also had an inspection done, a very thorough one, and the house has good bones, it's solid. We wouldn't have bought it if it didn't pass inspection, or we didn't agree with the builder, or we didn't think it had good bones. Now that all of that is out of the way, hopefully that is clear. Elijah went back home to get the very last of our things, like the trash can and some odd end things that we left there. And then he's gonna come back and start hanging some stuff up. We need to hang the blinds up and things like that. And then he's gonna fix the trim on the fridge so that he can push the fridge all the way back up against the wall. And then we're gonna go to the grocery store because we don't have any food here. And then our couch is gonna be delivered tomorrow, but we're just trying to make it work and do it as smart as possible. And I hope that is clear in the video.
All right, well, we still have so much more to do, but I kind of wanted to just close out this video. Just the house buying process, the initial moving in, getting settled enough to stay, and maybe I'll do some more update videos on the decoration of the house, you know, eventually, maybe like closet layout planning. I don't know if that would be interesting for you guys that are watching, but it's stuff that we're gonna do regardless, and it might be kind of fun to kind of plan it out together. But let me know what you guys think about the future videos, and we're all really excited, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is gonna be a really long video because we had so many other things that happened before we got the house, but Elora's hungry and we're eating lunch, so I'm going to close out the video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.